This is part 2 of section 3.5. We are still being asked to decide whether these are equivalent statements. In the previous problem, it looked a lot like this, meaning that we had the first two grouped and then the second two grouped, and they were all the same on the previous problem. But on that one, they were all or. And here we have a combination of or and also and. So this may or may not hold. So we may or may not have an associative property when we combine them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a truth table for each of these, and if they match up completely, we'll know. So the first thing I need is the P or Q. And with P or Q, remember with or, as long as you have at least one true, the statement is true. So the last two are the only ones that are false. Okay. So I've done that part. Now let's do the Q and R. Now with and, they both have to be true in order to be true. Or in other words, if there's a single false, the entire thing is false. So I'm looking at Q and R, so these two columns. So that would be true, false, 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 true, false, false, false. So two true statements there. Okay, so now let's analyze this one. I have P or Q and R. So that is this column with this column, so it's these two. And it's and, so they both need to be true in order to be true. So I have true, false, true, false, true, false, false, and false. All right, now let's do our second one. So it's P or Q and R. So Q and R is here, and P is in the front, so it's this column and this column. It's or, so as long as there is a true, the statement is true. So I have true, 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 false, false, and false. So only the last three of these are false. So now we have the truth table done for each of these two statements. And are they exactly the same? No. These are different, and the rest are the same. But it doesn't matter how many are different. If any of them are different, then these are not equivalent. So what this tells us is we cannot just group things together when it's a mixture of and or, because they're not equivalent. They're not going to be exactly the same thing. Okay, so let's look at this one. I have an asterisk beside it, and this one and the next one as well, because we're going to come back to these and we're going to talk about them a little bit more in the next section when we have a little bit more information. But I want to decide whether these are valid or invalid. So I need to build up every piece I need. I need a not P. Okay, so 4 falses and 4 trues. I need a not Q. So false, false, true, true, false, false, true, and true. Do I need a not R? Yes. So not R alternates false, true, false, true. Okay, so now I'm going to do this part. I have not Q and R, not Q and R. So it's this column and this column. We're ANDing, so I need them both to be true in order to be true. So I have false, false, that one's true, false, 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 true, and false. Okay, now I need the not R or Q. Not R is this column, Q is here, so it's these two. And it's OR, so as long as I have a true value, it is true. So I have two false statements here and here. All right, now we are ready to do both of these in full. So I have not P. If not P, then not Q and R. So if not P, then this one. So it's if this, then this. Remember, with a conditional, if your first statement is false, the conditional is true. So I'm just going to go through and mark all these that are false. All the rest of these are true. Okay. Now I'll need to look at these where I'm starting off with true. And if it's true going to true, it is true. If it's true going to false, it's false. So I have true. Which ones am I comparing again? This going to here. Okay, so I have true going to false, which is false. True, false is false. Two trues, and true, false is false. Okay, so one of the two is done completely. This last bit, I have not R or Q, then P. So that's this column going to this column. And remember, if it starts off with a false, it is true. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark those quickly so they're done. Okay. Now, not R, then P. So if true, then true is true. If true, then true. If true, then true. True, then false is false. If true, then false is false. And then the last one is here. If true, then false is false. Now compare these. These are exactly the same, so these are equivalent.